And we're live on YouTube. Now we're going to open up the room.
Recording in progress.
Okay. On Thursday, we're going to let the room fill up before we get things started. But if you're here to join us for drawing, you're in the right place. We're drawing Eurovision tonight. We're just talking about, Cassandra, you had like some school events.
Yeah. My kindergartners had a little musical performance. So I'm all about the music tonight, obviously.
Yeah, thanks for Cassandra. You pulled together the images. Thanks for doing that. Have they done on the topic of do they do the recorders still for school?
Oh, that's to come. I think that's first or second grade.
Is that just like everywhere in America, just like all grade schoolers?
It feels like it. I mean, I definitely did. Did you guys have the recorders?
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
That's lit. So it's been like generations.
What about the parachute in gym? Did you guys have the parachute in gym?
Yeah. But our school like rented it. So it was like it happened one time.
I was really excited because my kids are doing the parachute still. And I was like, yes, the parachute's still going.
Yeah, the recorder was pretty exciting. I still have my recorder. Like that is like a classic staple. You go back to your childhood room. There's a recorder like under the bed. Yeah.
Cool. That's funny out of it.
We've got Adam in here, so we've got a pretty loaded panel for what.
All right.
Sweet. I don't see Adam yet.
We're kind of expecting a light panel, but the bench is loaded. So
well, I heard Cassandra was picking the reference.
No.
Oh, this has got to be good.
I know. I usually post the reference. Nobody says anything. I posted it tonight and everybody was chiming in about how excited they were. I was like, relax.
Oh my gosh. Did you listen to Finland's song Cha Cha Cha? Because like metal Cha Cha Cha, come on.
I did no research for tonight. And on that note, let's kick it off.
All right. See if I can get there, Timmy. Wham. All right. Cassandra, thank you for doing this. You are responsible for all the complaints for the reference tonight.
Bring it.
Actually, the reference is great. So thank you for doing this. We are drawing Eurovision. And this is, I mean, it's been going on for a really long time. I mean, do you know how many times they've done this, Cassandra?
Well, I mean, ABBA won 50 years ago.
67 years.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I was blown away. It's in the UK this year for the 9th time. And the winner last year was from Ukraine. And usually they are the host because of the winner, but obviously because of the Mr. Putin decided to change it. Let's put it that way. So Chris Harms from Germany, you may know more, you may know a lot more about this than I do, Cassandra. So please speak up.
I don't, some of these I just picked because I loved the costume. So the Germany, that is why I picked that, because I couldn't get past his look and the color. It's just amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. We're going to see some fun stuff from this. I can't see.
This is Lazara from France, and this was like epic. She was on a huge platform, so it looked like it was like a 10-foot long dress.
Very cool.
Finland with metal Cha Cha Cha. Like, if you haven't heard this song, I dare you to look it up.
And then I guess the winner, right?
Sweden, and she's actually won first in 2012, and then she came back and she won this year. And
wow.
Dude, I don't want to cross her. Do you see the muscles on that chick?
Oh,
yeah.
Shredded. I noticed that immediately. I was like, wow. Just yoked.
Yeah.
well, all right. So, hey, we got 4 pieces of reference. We do 3 poses. Our first 2 are 20 minutes. And the third pose, you have your option of using this piece of reference or this piece of reference or doing them both because you have 40 minutes. And then at the end, please post your work and maybe you could do it in between to hashtag Drawing Hive on Instagram and we'll go through and take a look at everything. So we're ready to go. Thank you again, Cassandra. This is great stuff.
Sure. Thanks for letting me.
You can steal it, Timmy.
Yep.
I'm
Adam, it has been a while.
Adam.
Back.
Thank goodness my semester is, it was a long semester. I'm glad to be back.
Good to have you here, Adam.
I have missed you guys.
Couldn't believe we didn't have you here for Westminster night.
I don't know if anyone was more disappointed than me.
John, let's switch your camera.
I will just, yeah, sure. It's going to be a little different.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm drawing with it in front of my face practically.
Oh, that already looks awesome, John.
Oh, geez. Oh, wow.
So Cassandra, the second artist, the one with the dress, the really yellow dress on the podium.
Yeah.
When I was looking at that must have been a terrifying act of balance because
Yeah.
it doesn't look like that person could have climbed up there on their own.
Well, and also there's got to be some sort of safety thing that she can lean against, but they've got to hide it in a very tight dress. So it just can't, that can't be a comfortable solution.
Yeah.
Tight dresses are not very comfortable.
No. But yeah, I went down the rabbit hole of just watching a bunch of the performances in the semifinals and really fun. There was a song that was about Edgar Allan Poe that was surprising.
About Edgar Allan Poe?
Yeah, I think it's Who is Edgar? I think that's the name of it.
Huh.
Huh.
I feel like that's going to be our quote for the night, but I feel like there's going to be this seems like the sort of subject that whenever one of us knows something about it, the collective response will be, huh.
Oh, wait, the song is Who the Hell is Edgar? Sorry about the language, but I'm merely quoting the name of the song.
I think that's fine. I think we'll allow it.
He has his connections to Richmond, right?
Yep. We got the Poe Museum here. He lived here for a while.
Before he was removed.
Yeah. And then he went to Baltimore. I feel like any city that had him has some sort of museum to him.
Isn't there a fight between Baltimore and Richmond about ownership of him?
I don't know about that.
There was early on, who had to have him, who didn't want him.
Oh, I just remember when Sterling took me around in Richmond years ago. God, it's been a while. He was showing me, a cemetery and.
Oh yeah, Hollywood Cemetery is a really cool cemetery.
Yeah, and then he was telling me about a controversy. I thought it was about where he was buried, but I could be misremembering.
I don't think there's an issue about where he's buried. I mean, this is the house he lived in is what the museum is turned into. So it's one of the oldest structures in Richmond.
Right. I mean, I was blown away. Richmond, talk about
Pretty cool
cities.
It's a gem of a city.
I love there's the architecture, all the stone buildings, all the court, the school, the whole place is just amazing.
I know we've got some new people joining us tonight. If you do have questions, if you want some input on technique, anything like that, feel free to ask. We've got the bench is loaded tonight. We got Raymond, Benia, Adam, Bill, Cassandra, and John. everybody here, we could field a lot of questions tonight. Bring them on.
Hey, gang.
Hey, Ray.
Hey, Ray. Long time, man.
How's everyone doing? I know, John, I feel like I haven't seen you in 12 hours.
Yeah. I got a fun message today. Well, I think you all got it because Chris made a mistake. But Chris is going to be in Kansas City next week. He's coming to visit. Going to draw with us next Thursday night, hopefully in my studio
Oh, that'll be so fun.
or in his hotel room, one of the two.
Well, we know where he's staying, so we'll,
That's right.
Yeah.
He made sure of that.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that come through and I was like, classic drawing Hive group text. Just somebody sending sending specific information meant for one person to 12 people.
Hey, we like a good overshare. That's kind of our
Yeah.
style, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's only 12 people.
Oh, on the Bill, you mentioned disagreements on where like Edgar's grave site is.
Yeah.
This is dark humor, but my mom had a headstone made a long time ago for someone,
Yeah.
and they had a typo on the headstone, and so they were like, we can't like they basically were like, we're gonna fix it, but we got to make a new headstone. So, and for some reason this company was like, you can have the bad one. And so this is like only a couple months ago, I was in my mom's backyard and I go over to this tree and there's this headstone and I was like, what is this? And she was like, oh, I just didn't know what to do with it. And I was like, you know how confusing this is going to be for some people like 50 years from now, 70
love
years
it.
from now.
They're
They're
gonna
gonna
think
be
there's a
like-
body there.
Yeah, they're going to be like, well, you can't build there. It's going to like dictate how the land is used. Yeah, it's a pretty hilarious move with any property.
So my grandparents, they got a headstone. And so when my grandpa passed, they just like put her name on it. So they would only have to put her date. So we have this great picture of my grandma, like after my grandpa had passed like a year or two, of her twirling on where her grave would be. So we like, this is so dark. She died like, I don't know, 14 years later. And at her funeral, we had the picture of her twirling on her grave.
Oh God. That is pretty dark. That, you know what though? Like I appreciate the candor.
But she's, if you knew my grandma, she was always up for a party and she would keep her martini in her purse for cocktail hour at all times.
She had a little martini, like a
Yeah, she had a shaker in her olives.
Oh my goodness.
And my grandparents were diplomats, so like cocktail hour was very important.
Where were they diplomats?
It's going to work. Going to work.
They were American diplomats in Brazil in the 60s.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's where my mom and my aunts and uncles, they all grew up in Brazil.
Oh,
Cassandra, imagine
Whoa.
like the exact opposite person as your grandmother. And then you'll have my grandmother. I mean, the exact opposite.
She didn't keep a martini in her purse because
Never had a
that's
drink in her life.
Wow.
Now, she lived to be 105.
Well, that might be why she lived longer.
Yeah.
Cassandra's grandma lived to be like 50.
85, but
85 is commendable.
yeah.
Ah.
Gosh.
I saw there's a birthday party happening for the oldest dog this week. It just turned 30 something.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
gosh.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
What breed?
I'll look it up. This is gonna be like pseudo art news.
Is it going to be a mutt? I would love for it to be a mutt.
It
Yeah.
probably is.
Well, my dog Brookie is like 15, so I'm hoping. World's oldest dog turns 31 years old. His name is Bobby. And it looks 31.
Dogs.
Bobby looks like a 31-year-old dog.
Bobby. Like that's not a cool name, man. We'll change it later. The dog probably
Bobby.
won't last long.
It's a purebred Rafero do Alentejo.
What?
That sounds made up.
Rafero do Alentejo.
Oh.
It's purebred. And their average lifespan is typically 12 to 14. So Bobby did pretty well. I want to go ahead and say that maybe somebody swapped Bobby out. Yeah.
My sixth grade teacher used to like tell parents that she had the world's oldest hamster in her class. Someone would always take it home over like winter break and spring break, and invariably it probably died, and they didn't want to admit it, so the parents would buy a new hamster and send it in. So she apparently had the same hamster with the same name for like 15 years.
Wow.
Because every 2 years some parent would probably buy a new hamster when it died in their care.
As it got older, its coloring changed.
Right.
We had a hamster that got away, just escaped. And then it was like 3 years later, we found it in a drawer, and it had hoarded all of this Halloween candy, and it was just thriving.
It was still alive?
Oh yeah, it was amazing. It did better than we ever could have cared for it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that would be. I would really, if I had kids, I would really put my foot down. I would not be a hamster dad.
I put my foot down, and I still wound up being a hamster dad.
Did you? You're a hamster dad.
And that's when I realized what hamsters are. Is if you approach it right, if you approach it realistically, they're very useful because they're basically mortality training for your children.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just you've got if you want to teach your children responsibility, unconditional love, and the steps of grief, but you only want to spend a year and a half on it, hamster will do it for you.
You condensed that down to a year and a half. Yeah, I remember we had a rabbit that we rescued, and then I remember it died, and we had dogs, and I remember my dad. We were like, "What happened?" And I remember my dad going, "The dog scared it so much it had a heart attack." And looking back, it wasn't until really like right now that I'm realizing that's definitely not what happened.
Yeah, it was really scared right before they ate it.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and say that the end of that rabbit was maybe not as gentle as he described.
Well, even that end doesn't sound gentle. So
Actually, no,
Yeah,
if that's the way you tell someone to soften the blow, that's not good.
I don't know.
I actually did have 2 pet rabbits who died of heart attacks from neighborhood dogs.
Are you just now realizing, Adam? Are you just now realizing they weren't heart attacks?
No, because they actually the rabbits actually they were so freaked out by the dog. The one like pushed his way through the chicken wire of his hutch and died on the far end of the yard. But the dog, like the moment it died, the dog left it alone.
Yeah, my parents had chickens, like they had a whole chicken coop and everything, and they tell us it was a Easter morning. the chicken coop massacre occurred, and my dad, they said they woke up and their dog Sammy came into the bedroom and just had a bloody feather sticking out of its face. Yeah. Chickens and dogs are pretty difficult.
So how about that Eurovision? I don't know
Yeah.
what to do after that.
Yeah, how did we?
I'm like, wait, is this a replay of last week that I'm
Yeah.
Could be.
Timmy, did you watch the movie?
No, I have not.
Oh,
I have
the movie's
not.
so much fun.
I will, it's on my list though, for sure.
the movie Eurovision's on your list?
of like movies to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is on my list, Ray.
Wait, have you watched it?
Me, no, I haven't.
There you go. You got a little judgy there. You haven't even watched it.
Yeah, I did. I got a little judgy.
I mean, Ray, I have a really long list.
I'm just, I mean, a list is a big thing, at least for me in my house.
Is it?
You just don't throw anything on the list. Yeah, because you're gonna.
My list. If you think Eurovision is problematic on my list, I just watched 2 Gerard Butler movies last week. So,
Oh, do tell. Which ones did you go for?
Plane.
Geothermal? That one?
Plane. It's his new.
Plane.
It's good. It's classic. It will be remembered forever. No,
That's a GB, man. Still
yeah.
got it.
Jerry Butts. No, I just like, I love a good popcorn action movie.
I do too.
Oh yeah, I'm
You
down.
know,
I'm down.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say like the was it Olympus Down?
That's a good
Oh, yeah.
franchise. That's a solid franchise.
Yeah.
I stand by
good.
it. That's a good franchise.
I just watched the one, it's like geothermal, or the one about like climate change that like then they had the satellites to control storms.
That one's hilarious. Geostorm.
Geostorm. I knew it was geo something.
There's a good podcast called How Did This Get Made? And it's like 4 comedians, and they just pick like movies that are so bad they're good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good episode. I recommend it. How Did This Get Made?
I'll have to look into that.
But yeah, Geostorm is one of their movies, and it's pretty good.
Oh, it was a total popcorn night. You know, when you just want to watch something that's just kind of ridiculous and fun.
That one was.
That one totally like hit the nail on the head on that one.
Yeah, Gerard Butler just has this like bizarre, like kind of European accent, but is supposed to be from like Texas.
Well, that's the problem because he's Scottish, and so he's always trying to cover up his Scottish accent. That it ends up, it's like watching Kevin Costner do Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's
Okay.
actually worse, but
Careful what your next words are gonna be, Cassandra. Okay.
I mean, come on, you watched it, right? Like,
I like lived and breathed that movie. I probably watched it when I shouldn't have. Though.
I
like,
quote that movie
now that
nonstop.
I think about it.
Like, he and I will hold up spoons and be like, "'Cause it hurts, small fool."
Oh my God. Okay,
But
so
there'll be
I'm
moments it's
dealing
like,
with the
I
serious
must
connoisseur.
avenge my
you know.
father.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe prison. His character, he was in prison. You know.
And
I will.
Maybe that messed
I
up
will,
his
I
accent.
will
You don't
say
know.
this after news tonight. I will ask the panel, think about it, for a contemporary recommendation on something that you've enjoyed lately. Like movies, TV, music, art. It could be an Instagram handle that you've been seeing a lot. Just think about it. And that's our closing segment. So
why contemporary?
because we have an audience.
Why? But
Yeah,
what does that have to do with? I mean, like, there's
Bill.
that's like okay.
He's trying to keep me from recommending things from the 1930s as if they're brand new.
Well, I mean,
Bill, if you could write a letter to Dale at Visual Arts Passage.
That's our main feedback email.
Yeah.
Just in case anybody has mostly complaints and.
Yeah.
Adam, I'm loving the squat you've captured there so well.
Oh, thanks. He's got quite a squat.
He does. This costume is pretty wild. This character, does Does he navigate everyday life? Do you know much about this musician?
I don't. I
Okay.
don't. I just I couldn't get past his costume. I
pretty
just
awesome.
loved it so much. I mean, there's fringe, there's pleather, it's red,
Can you imagine the amount of sweat? That does not look like it breathes.
Yeah, there's
mean, I
no,
would say
that's not
almost-
wicking material.
all the costumes I would say look like they mostly don't breathe.
I don't know, that green one does.
Oh, well, yeah, true. That is Finland was all about airing it out.
Yeah, that one has like maximum breathability. Yeah.
I really love the light that you got going on there, John. Those highlights that you put in,
Thanks.
looks amazing.
Anybody have art questions? We'll just keep talking about pleather otherwise.
Yeah. Have you guys, has anybody on the panel been running into any art, like personal challenges, like techniques or exploring new stuff this past week?
I am
Boy.
trying to sketch out a 40-page book about aliens who don't want to go home as the follow-up to my Froggies Do Not Want to Go to Sleep. And that was the thing that I've been like making models for, because I need to reference them, in 3 dimensions while making them up. And 2 nights ago, I made a fake farm out of cut paper for them to invade in perspective.
Nice.
It's been a very specific set of art challenges this week.
Ray, I have
So
something I've been battling with, and it's called OBS.
OBS is a temperamental, it's you have to coexist. You can't, it's a shared existence with OBS.
What is
Okay.
OBS?
Maybe it's
I think I got it.
open source broadcasting software. Did you get it?
I think so. Timmy?
He's a super man. He did a good job. And you know what? I set him all up. If anybody's wondering, so John was creating a mixed media like painting demo. So I go over to his house, I set it all up so he can record all the class installments. And then it was like the next day he called and he was like, he spotted a problem, right? It was impressive. It could have been bad.
All right, I'll give you partial credit
So
only
we
because you
fixed
let
it.
someone else set it up, but you fixed it. That's pretty good, John.
Yeah.
I'm
I wouldn't
impressed.
say he fixed it. He got it.
Oh, okay.
Let's
Now you
not.
got a quarter credit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but if anybody's wondering, that class, it's up, it's live, it's a mixed media painting demo, but more
Oh, is it
important,
up?
yeah, but more importantly, we're in the midst of what is now super early bird for the mentorship, the summer mentorship courses. So the summer semester starts in June, in July, and if you sign up now, you can save $200 using discount code ARTSY, but pro users sign up early. Definitely worth it. So some pretty awesome programs though, if you're into drawing and painting. So
John, what
And now
media-
OBS demos.
yeah,
what medias are you mixing?
I did I started with acrylic, same thing I did in class the other day, Cassandra.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome then. I wanna watch it.
What would love to see that.
I started with acrylic paint, did an underpainting, and then I actually started with graphite, drew it up in graphite, did an underpainting in acrylic, and then worked on top of the acrylic with crayons and oil pastels,
Oh, cool.
and then painted back into it with oil paint and Dorland's wax.
Oh, man,
Oh,
that sounds amazing.
I'm gonna need to watch that.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
everybody, you probably heard the buzzer. That's the end of pose number 1. So we're moving on to the reference number 2, which is the really, would you call that, like almost like a pencil dress?
Can you see that, Cassandra?
Oh,
Yeah.
that looks so
Oh,
awesome,
look at
John.
that.
That's the painting I did.
Here, John, let me spotlight it.
That's gorgeous.
It's not quite-
Beautiful.
I'm not quite done, but
Oh,
it's
nice.
pretty
It's
close.
crazy. Your webcam desaturates stuff so much. I mean, all webcams do.
Yeah, it is. I
Yeah.
can't see it. I have a photo
That's
up.
okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
that fountain looks amazing.
I'll share the
there we go.
image. I've got the image.
Don't share it. This is very different.
Oh,
That's why I did it. That's why I worked on it a little bit more.
well, I would say that the one that you showed on the webcam is very different because it's decent. It's like it looks black and white almost.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, just
You
wait.
want
till
me to
tomorrow.
share it.
Just wait till tomorrow.
All right, everybody. So we're moving on to pose number 2. I just want to say you should post your work now to Instagram. So hashtag drawing hive and have visual arts passage. I think I left that out. Yep. Has anybody, hey, be honest. Has anybody been using their timers?
What timer?
Well, Ray and Cassandra and John. John, have you been using your timer?
Well, we've been timing and Dale.
Oh my God. You know, is that what showed up?
Yeah.
You didn't even know what it was, right?
Ray, you
No,
haven't been
I
reading
opened
my
it-
Discord
I opened it.
messages.
No, I have not. I opened up. Do you realize how many people I went through and I changed all my passwords because I thought somebody had managed to.
Wait, you thought somebody hacked your Amazon and ordered one of these for you?
In order
You
to
know,
a
I've-
timer.
I've-
An egg timer.
I'm like, why do I have a timer? Why? It's like I'm like calling my mom. I'm like, did you order a kitchen timer? Or like your kitchen? Or and then I was calling my brother and I was like, hey, your kitchen timer showed up at my
Wait, there was a
door.
message about
So-
it. You didn't even see the message?
I got a lot on my plate, Cassandra.
A
And I was
kitchen
like,
timer
oh,
that
no, baby.
wait, but like it is the kitchen timer that I use for drawing. You didn't think
Well, I don't see it usually. Like
That
I just
looks
hear because I
familiar.
know like
does it look
We
familiar?
Oh
use
my
it in
God.
study hall.
yeah.
Are you using it in study hall? Nice. Yeah, I was.
Do you
pretty
guys
excited
do we
about
really
it.
use it in study hall? Wow.
Yeah, we used it last week in study hall. And then you came in late. And so there was you didn't hear about us using it. So Dale
All right,
sent
I
me
have
a
a lot of
message. He
people
goes,
that-
Ray doesn't get the timer thing,
I
does he?
feel like this almost feels like to
Wait,
me,
really?
you.
Was Ray, were you completely disregarding the timer?
You didn't know we were using it.
Oh,
I didn't know you were using them. No, I'm
but
like
I mean, but
I was
isn't there
just
like
like
isn't there like a buzzer that went off?
No,
every-
you don't hear
No.
it, Timmy. You don't
No,
hear it.
Dale and I were just using it, and actually nobody pressed it. So I mean, nobody pushed the time, so we didn't have to enact it. We just told people we were doing it, and we got through everything really quickly.
But here's a question. So did you actually use the timer?
Yeah,
Okay, you weren't just
He's
like,
saying it just didn't go off.
oh, I understand. I thought you were just like, all we had to do was show people the timer.
no, it's just it never went off because we.
This is the best conversation ever.
yeah, I miss 1 week
Yeah.
and everything just goes belly up here, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ray, I wrote like whatever you imagine, like a White House report for all of the mentors about the timers.
There was a couple messages about the timer.
There were a lot of messages, and I
Oh
would
my
describe
God.
them as excessively wordy.
We weren't excessively wordy, but I was, but it was funny though. I did know it was coming, and when it arrived though, I didn't know like the size of it. So when it arrived, I had no idea what it was until I opened it and realized it was the timer.
Dale sent me a message after I had talked with him in depth about the timer, and he said, "Did you send me a timer?"
Okay, well that's bad. That's bad.
Yeah.
So Dale.
Well, Marcia thought you had sent it to her, so
Everybody's just like, why did Timmy send to everyone timers?
everyone's got a cooking timer.
Yeah.
I have it on my desk, but I haven't needed it because we've been doing good on the time with like
Yeah.
everybody in our class.
It's just the threat of the timer.
That's it.
That's it. It's looming.
Well, no, it's, but we're actually paying attention to we're watching it. That's the good part. It's
Yeah.
controlling it without it going off.
I mean, some of us are watching it. Others
Yeah.
still have the timer in the
Some
box.
still think that
because
someone's
they
stolen their
thought-
identity and they're scared of what's in the box.
Just using, yeah, but then I was like, there's no charges to any of my credit cards.
So,
So
did you
they
sound
wouldn't
like
have
Brad
gotten
Pitt
in.
just being like, what's in the box? What's in the box?
That's a pretty fun trick. Just send somebody something that's really strange.
Do you remember
You
when
know,
all those
I've
do you remember when all those seeds got mailed like back in 2020?
Oh, yeah, right.
That was wild. Like it was like all across the US, people got like a random seed, and then there was like a government notice like not to plant the seeds.
Oh,
Do you
my
remember
gosh,
this?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was that was one of those, like, I think people refer to this, it's like, that was like the filler episode of like National Crises.
Yeah, it was.
Was it before or after Murder Bees? Like that's
It was definitely bundled with UFOs.
Right.
Where they were just like, UFOs exist and don't plant the seeds.
Right.
and then you could get on TikTok and somebody be like, I planted the seeds. And they're like, and it was if I remember correctly, it was some marketing thing. It's like but it was really strange. It was a lot of people thought it was some form of like espionage. Like the most.
Yeah, that's what I thought the timer was. I was calling it Timergate. And
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm
that
glad it's
sounds like a
been,
prank that
rectified.
Timmy would play on you, Ray, but he actually meant to do it for everybody.
No.
He got you to call everyone asking about this mystery package. So Timmy, does that make you
That's
kind of feel good that worked that way?
I'm really happy that people are using that they're working. Genuinely.
Good.
John, I mean, a big part of like education is, and then like being able to provide like a great learning experience, for like a lot of people is just like about like boils it down to just like good time management. And it can be like difficult, I think, to, especially when you get in the moment and people are excited about it. Like it can go on, I don't know. I'm not the teacher, so you guys can probably like elaborate on
No,
it. But
I think-
it's like not all critiques are like, the same. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that, it was awesome that you sent the timer, and it's completely a useful thing. I just I'm sorry I didn't read the Discord messages. I saw that I had like 65 mentions or something like that because it was
They're
backlogged.
like
And I think what
$50
happened, yeah, I just kept clicking like, okay, what's the next one? What's the next one? What's the next one? So I was pretty backlogged. But I
Hey.
also think that, time management is, I mean, I use timers on my phone all the time when I'm painting. So
When we had a lot of students at the Illustration Academy, and we would do a Monday critique from the previous week assignment with the new artists that came in, and they could go on forever, it seemed like. And so we started using a timer. It made it so much more efficient, made everything work, made the experience just a lot better.
Oh,
So
that's good.
that's where that came from.
And I think a phone is like, because I understand like a phone has a timer on it, but I think it's better,
not the same.
especially for like a teacher. I think it's better that nobody's ever like looking at their phone whenever they're having like any interaction.
Yeah. No, that's a really
agree.
good point because that doesn't feel genuine then.
Even
No,
though I
no.
know they're looking at a timer, I think it sends a signal.
Yeah, of disinterest.
Yeah, even though it's
And
not.
I think
yeah.
well, I think a timer also is, it's like it serves one function, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And it also mentally, like when you're working with one, geez, I'm gonna use this timer now. Thanks, Timmy. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It has
Yeah.
one function, to scare Ray.
Yeah, to scare Ray. Well, you ever got like, I used to, did anybody get like Amazon packages that were made out to them, but were like bizarre things? Like I got like a printer, like a bunch of printer inks
What?
that I don't even own. And there was like an option for, I talked to the Amazon rep and he was like, oh yeah, sometimes that happens. And I'm like, yeah, but the directions say like the address is my address, or how did they find, he's like, yeah, sometimes it gets mixed up. I'm thinking like, what? It's like $1 trillion company.
Right. That requires a slightly more specific how.
Well, like,
Yeah, well,
I buy a lot of used stuff on like Facebook Marketplace. And have you ever seen the people will buy up like lost mail, like in bulk?
no.
Yeah, that's how my painting ended up at Cargo Largo in Independence, Missouri.
Oh geez.
No
So-
way.
So what they do is you buy, I don't know how they buy it, but they buy it in bulk and then they end up with this just like storage container of packages. And then it's a really genius thing because like if I were to buy it, if you bought like a ton of lost mail, your initial reaction is, well, let's go through all of the mail and see what we got, because you're hoping you've got something fantastic, that was just lost, right? But the reality is like you're probably going to find a bunch of stuff and you might find something that has some value, but then you got to sell it and you got to sell it used, and like it's just a nightmare. And so what these people do is they just buy it and then they just sell the packages as mystery packages for like $10 each.
Huh.
So
Amazing.
So you just buy a package, you have no idea what's in it.
Right, like a storage unit
Yeah.
does,
Yeah,
right?
it's like-
Storage
it's
wars.
like-
You got to buy the whole thing, right?
It's like Storage Wars for, for me.
For Timmy.
I was going to say poor man's Storage Wars, but it's just Timmy's Storage Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Which,
So you say,
go ahead, Ray.
well, I was gonna say, to answer your question about like what we're working on and whatnot. I am definitely been working on finishing up this larger painting that has been slowly but surely eating my soul. It's it's one of those. I was thinking about. I was thinking a lot about it today because I was gonna, if it came up in conversation, I was gonna talk about it, because it's a painting I'm pushing myself on really hard, and I could have, quote unquote, finished it a long time ago, but there's a difference for me between like finishing a painting and it being really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And but that's only really a distinction that you
It's a
can
very
understand
personal
when you get.
decision.
Yeah, exactly. And requires you to have like a lot of painting under your belt to even know what that means. Because when you're first starting off painting, you're just trying to finish it, and so you have, that's why you're taught like workflows from, and you study other artists and how they do things, and you try and progress as straight ahead as possible. And but you get to a certain point too where you know how to finish something so it looks like a completed statement, but you really, when you're trying to push the painting beyond to the next level of what what you're slightly capable, beyond what you're capable of doing. And it is yeah, you're right. It's like, it's just like it's a constant dialogue that you have with your piece to try and figure out what it's supposed to be. And it's boy, it is
It's
not
brutal.
not easy.
Brutal.
Yeah.
I just finished a set of all of that.
Oh, yeah, I don't, I'm about to go into it. So I envy you right now.
That was my last 4 months, and it was just like some days I'm like, why did I think this was a good idea?
Right. Couldn't I have just been just like a complacent artist for just for once, for my
Yeah,
own
could
sanity.
that have been enough?
Yeah.
Seems like a good
And then you
idea.
always say like, oh, the next one I'm just gonna do easy. It's gonna be easy for me. And it's just,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stress myself out about it. And it's just gonna be a standard piece. And it never is.
Nope. Nope.
Never, never. Uh, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a very humbling process.
Oh man, it really is. I have so many books open to like I've picked out the painters that I'm requesting help from
Hmm.
to help me with these, and like I've been going through. Well, the painters so far are Harry Anderson, Pruitt Carter, William James Award, um and I was looking at Dean Cornwell, but I think he's probably not going to be able to help me on this one. Hopefully he'll help me on the next one.
He's
And
busy.
it's just like he's busy. Yeah, he's busy. So I reserved him for my next piece.
Can you,
I forgot who else, but
are you able to talk about like what the piece is of? Is it still
yeah.
like,
So it's a no, it's a painting that actually showed the study for it to my painting students, just to show them how I prepare my pieces and how I work out my designs and stuff. And it's basically a landscape with a front of a house and like two um bushes, and one's like like a set of like a peonies, and the other, oh no, hydrangeas, sorry.
Mm.
And another is just like a regular bush. And there's just an abstraction that I'm trying to push and toe a line between um different realms of abstraction. And really there's some areas where I'm just trying to make a large shape and control the amount of information and emphasis that I'm putting on, so that it's it's got a little bit more of a movement to it. And because I could sit there and just render it, but it's more this is very much more of a designed piece. And that's what I'm working on a solo show right now for in November, and a lot of my paintings I'm really pushing the design on them a lot more, um much more than I've had in the past. And so
that's exciting.
it's yeah, it is. It's but of course, I think it's exciting. It was exciting before I started, and it'll be exciting after I'm finished.
Yes, exactly correct.
Ray, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you look at a lot of abstract painters?
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's this specific I had to cap myself on the artists that I mentioned because I'd be here till like
Right.
10:30. But there's a Joan Mitchell piece that I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
That is, it's got what I want out of it. And I've been really looking at that. And a couple of Hans Hoffmans
That's cool.
as well. Yeah. And there's a Robert Ryman piece that I was thinking about with it's like a small painting on like burlap or something like that. It's really small, but the brush strokes, the way that they designed that, like all white,
Yeah.
is how I was thinking about like a certain corner.
Do you know
of it.
the artist Robert Baxter?
Robert Baxter. Let me see.
He was
The
one of
illustrator?
his influences. And he's sort of a nice mix of figuration and abstraction. Lots of really great shapes, great watercolors, nice distortion.
Oh,
He
thank
might
you.
be somebody, I don't know, it might not be in the same arena, but he's somebody who definitely pushes the abstract qualities of an image.
Awesome.
You know,
Yeah, he's got the got that wonderful flatness to it. Yes, I have a bunch of these images.
you know,
Yeah, because today's yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I'm looking them up right.
yeah.
right
I mean,
now.
you can see it in.
And it was on.
Wilson's work.
Oh yeah, totally.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
It would no. He was. I remember seeing this page that I'm scrolling through on years ago when today's inspiration
Yeah,
leaf things thing. That one, like it was just the blog.
yeah,
Yeah. Wow, 2012. Oh,
yeah. Also,
11 years ago.
do you know Blair Thornton's work? What's that?
It was 11 years ago. I saw that. It's just like what?
There you go. Do you know Blair
Feel I'm
Thornton's
old.
work?
Yes.
It
Yes.
hits hard.
Because she's
hits
another
hard.
one.
Could
Great
you say
design.
that name one more time?
Blair Thornley,
Okay, cool.
Thornley.
Ley, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I've also been looking at a lot of Mary Grand Prix
I
recently.
love Mary Grand Prix work
I
right
mean,
now.
Yeah.
They're very well done.
The type of work that she does, I think she's the best at it. You know, and I love when she puts in figures.
Have you ever seen the piece? It's 30,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and it's by William James Aylward, who's a
No.
Howard Pyle student. It's like Nemo. It's basically like
Oh yeah. That's an awesome one.
that was one of the paintings that made me want to be an illustrator or just get an oil painting. If I could do a painting like that, that'd be
Cool.
I mean, no biggie. Let's see.
Well,
30,000.
I think you all heard the buzzer go off a couple minutes ago, so we're moving on to the third and final drawing. You can choose either or of the last two, or you can do both, but this is a longer one. It's a little bit more than 40 minutes. And I'm gearing up. We got action news. We got some good action news.
Ooh, so your rule follows. Like if we skip a week, the next week is going to be rocking.
I think so, because last week was rough. Last week was dark art news.
Yeah, so we just didn't do any because it wasn't
Yeah,
worth going there.
people sent it to me, and I was like, I don't know what you think this is.
I preference it's not to share. It was just a crazy story.
Yeah, well, and I also want to say I actually really love it when people send me art news, so don't feel like you don't have to. But I did get sent it, and I was just like, okay, that's a wild story. Like, we are definitely not talking about it.
No.
Yeah, so anyway, so last week was eventful, but not in the way in which was helpful for Drawing Hive. Okay, here we go. Let me see here. Got some audio issues. Here we go. Hey, art news. All right, and the first story that we have for art news tonight, or action news, a woman bought 4 ceramic plates at a Salvation Army for $8. They turned out to be original Picassos and are worth over $40,000.
Oh my gosh.
A New Yorker discovered the plates on her way home from work in 2017. It's every thrifter's dream. They were priced for $1.99 each. So they had like a sales price because they didn't think $2 would go.
Did she negotiate?
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
could have got them down. Yeah, usually you get down 20%. Anyways, this has been recapped in a very popular TikTok since then, of course. Her original plan was to make them into a tablescape. And then apparently somebody chimed in and was like, pretty sure those are original Picassos. 3 of the 4 plates have sold at Sotheby's, roughly 12,000, 13, and 16,000. So, and it's actually a really sweet story. She watched the auction online during her lunch break and said she cried through the whole thing.
Oh,
Yeah. So pretty cool. Just a
Good feel-good story.
yeah, just a classic drawing.
Picasso at
Hive.
Salvation Army thing.
Yeah.
Nobody stole anything. Nobody hurt anybody.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's really not, but you know what though? Not much to say. Yeah.
I could see the editor, the producer in Timmy's voice, like, it doesn't have meat though,
Yeah, it's
It
got
doesn't
no.
have the meat. It's got no juice to it, John. It's got no juice to it.
There's nothing to put your teeth into.
Yeah, she didn't
Yeah,
go
yeah.
home and glaze them.
Right. It would have been more interesting if they, if somebody came in and, bumped it, bumped
Yeah.
the table and they all fell during the
Yeah.
auction.
They
or something
didn't
like
know that it of it like a Greek restaurant, like they were throwing plates or something.
Oh my God.
I'm just imagining like the worst fates for a plate.
Now, how did they get there though?
That's what I want to know.
Wouldn't it be amazing to know the path that those plates took?
Like I could see like maybe in the estate sale that
It's
was like in a, I don't know,
They- it-
place.
there's a good chance that it maybe didn't even change. It only changed one set of hands, and it's just like a family not knowing,
It's gotta be.
Goodness.
It's a feel good story until you really look close, isn't it, guys?
Right.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, it gets pretty dark when you really think about it. But how about it for that lady that found him? That's pretty cool.
Yay. I hope
Oh, it's
hope she
awesome.
gets good savings and has a fun vacation and pays off her house.
What?
Something cool like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so question for maybe John would know this. So let's say we know that. Okay, so you find out that it's a Picasso
Mhm.
plate. Is she paying taxes on like an immense amount of taxes on that then?
Well, if she sells it,
Yeah. Well, she sold them.
Okay.
So
well, she's got it, whatever she bought it for, she's got to pay taxes on the difference of what it sold for.
yeah, and those capital gains, I believe, changed dramatically.
40%.
Well, it depends on how many years after you sell it.
Right. That was going to be my next question.
That has a major influence on it.
That was a really adult question to ask.
If you sell,
Sorry, it's a
you
little
sell
heavy
it-
for action news. My bad.
Like, way to bring in the taxes
yeah, you would be
Adult
much
news.
better off.
by Ravenia.
Yeah, right. Turning action news into fraction news. Thanks a lot.
I mean, it's not financial advice, but she probably, maybe she should have formed a shell company before that represented, and then given that transferred ownership over the plates over to that.
I know people that have sold classic cars, and what they'll do is like on the bill of sale, they'll sell it for I know somebody's bought a car for they're spending thousands of dollars, but on the bill of sale it'll be like they bought it for $2,000.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then they think they're doing them a favor, but then they don't realize that they're gonna have to bite the bullet when they sell
Right.
it.
Yeah. I know you have another story, but I think this is worth stretching out a little bit. I used to play basketball with the guy who one day he told me, he's like, yeah, so I won my first sweepstakes contest, like a major contest. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, I always sign up for these sweepstakes for free cars and things like that. And he says he had signed up for Discovery Channel's something from Discovery Channel where you would win a custom motorcycle from Jesse James.
Oh,
Right?
cool.
And he, if you knew him, you'd be like, dude, you don't even ride a motorcycle.
Yeah.
You have no interest in it, but he wins it, right? And so he has a phone conversation with Jesse James. He's just like, yeah, this was like a quick and dirty job. I hope you're not like offended by it, but I mean, it's still a good bike and everything like that, but you're not going to get anything like, I don't know, with like a 37-inch like flat screen mounted to it, and like, a kegerator or anything like that. It's just going to be a nice bike. And he goes, cool. And so he wins it, but then he finds out, he goes, do you ride bikes? He goes, no. Do you have any interest? Are you going to ride it? He goes, no, I'm not. He goes, well, I have to let you know that it's in my garage now, but as soon as it drives off, like you got to pay taxes on it, even though you want it.
Yeah.
And so he would have to pay taxes for the value of that motorcycle.
Wow.
And
that's what happened to the you get a car and you get a car and you get a car Oprah audience.
Yeah, I remember.
They all got hit with the tax bills on these cars that were to them.
Yeah, but if you just flip it, you're fine. I mean,
Right.
It's still pretty.
Sell it.
Which is what he was trying to do. Yeah. But
yeah, you just got to sell
nothing's free.
Or sell it or pay the taxes. Yeah, death and taxes. Yeah, I mean, Ray, to answer your question about like capital gains, that my buddy who he got aboard, he bought. It haunts me to this day. He bought several Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs.
Oh yeah, the monkey ones, right?
Yep, dedicated maybe over an hour trying to convince me to spend $40 to buy 2 of them. And I did not. At the height, that would have been about $1 million.
Oh my.
But the thing that was really
think about the quality of the timers we would have received, guys.
Yeah,
right. They would have been gold plated, baby.
And Rolex
That would have been a
button
butler that took the time for you,
Yeah. You guys, I would have sent you all assistants. No, but the thing that was really stressful, because he has this NFT and it's worth, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And obviously, and he lives in California, he's having a family and he wants to buy a house, which is now a very unusual thing to be able to do in California.
Right.
And he sees this opportunity, but the thing is he's staring at the market thinking this is the best time, I need to sell it. But if I sell it within the first 12 months, I'm going to get destroyed by taxes. But because he bought it like early on with like the first wave, his fear was that when the 12 months goes by, that there was going to be just this like tidal wave of sales.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Anyway, it's not that he had like a true problem, because either way he was going to walk away really great. I mean, it's like the best $20 he's ever spent, but
right.
But you can't say it wasn't. I mean, I remember being stressed for him.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Because I mean,
work out for him very well though. So it's good for him.
Well, it's good that he was aware of the fact that he had to pay taxes on that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. All right, here we go. This is another fun one. An 8-year-old schoolgirl found a rare Stone Age dagger on playground in Norway. Someone dropped their dagger in Norway sometime around the late Stone Age. This is more than 3 millennia ago, and it was just recently picked up by Elise, an 8-year-old in Norway. She was going to, this actually gives us a good look at the playgrounds in Norway. I was going to pick up a piece of glass, she said, and then I saw that stone there. It was nice. That's a pretty good quote. So she brought the stone to the teacher, and the teacher definitely was like, this seems like a functional stone, and local code required civilians to report traces of prehistoric activity which is a pretty funny law that they have in Norway.
Mhm.
And they worked with the Museum of Bergen, and they dated it to about 1700 BCE. Here's the stone. The stone. And it's considered to be a very rare relic. Anyway, pretty cool. They
Right on.
that's not
Keep
part of
picking up
That's a
glass
picture
on the
of the
playground.
8-year-old girl.
I'm trying to it's the-
That's funny.
yeah. Anyways. So yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Pretty good week for Lost and Found.
No
Yeah,
kidding.
seriously.
Yeah.
I do
Should've
like
been
that
a
they
thrifter
displayed-
or
I thought I was picking up glass, which feels
Yes.
safe for someone her age. I
Yeah.
keep thinking of Dan Aykroyd from SNL, like the Christmas
Yeah.
bags of glass.
The
I
bag
thought of the exact same thing.
is Norway. They're just like bag o' glass.
Yeah.
Isn't that what it's called? Bag o' glass. Yeah.
Instead of it being a bag of glass, it was a bag of ancient daggers.
Yeah.
Fun for the whole family.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, pretty cool.
And you can't sell that, right? That has to be
That belongs in a museum.
that belongs in a museum. So do you. Let's go there.
Yeah. I think they just, man, that would have been I can only imagine when I was 8, if I had found that and then they took it from me, the amount of crying I would have done that I didn't get to keep the prehistoric dagger. I would have thrown a fit. I would have thrown a tantrum.
Well, especially since the Trayvons were already searching for arrowheads, I would
Oh
understand.
yeah, my dad would have thrown a tantrum too. He would have been like, that dagger belongs to my son. It would have
scarred him.
Yeah. 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 Anyways, so and then our last, that's all I got. That's it. See these feel good ones. These feel good ones. You're right, Ray. No meat. All right. This one is not feel good. Actually it is. The U.S. Supreme Court. This is a revisiting. So we covered this story.
Oh, cool.
You've checked in with this one before. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled against Andy Warhol Foundation in a closely watched copyright infringement lawsuit filed against the photographer Lynn Goldsmith, a decision that could set precedent of cases involving the fair use doctrine.
Wow.
Let me get to the meat of the story.
Saw that on CNN today.
Yeah, the legal dispute began in 2016 when Andy Warhol Foundation preemptively sued Goldsmith after she raised concerns over the use of her 1981 photograph of the pop star Prince. Goldsmith's photograph of Prince was shot on assignment for Newsweek. The magazine did not end up using the photos, but Goldsmith retained licensing for future use. And then on a commission for Vanity Fair, Warhol used the photograph as reference without Goldsmith's knowledge of the project. Since then, since his death, they've been sold and reproduced for what has been reported to be hundreds of millions of dollars. So, yikes. Yeah, hopefully that works out for.
And what do you think is going to happen to? Do you think that preemptively, then somebody like Roy Lichtenstein comes into?
That's a really good question.
That's all I've been
Can
thinking.
you elaborate, Ray? Can you elaborate on that?
So Lichtenstein, pop artist, working around the same time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And was he did gigantic acrylic paintings of they're basically essentially blown up comic panels from strips. I mean, like everyone from Stan Drake. I mean, like the classic kind of romance stuff. All I can think about is Stan Drake, but like a whole bunch of them. And you could actually, if you look up Roy Lichtenstein, and you could see actually where he got the actual panels from. Like some of them are from like Bill, were they from
I
some of
can't
them
remember the
from
name of
Timely
the artist.
Comics as well?
I can't remember the name
Yeah.
of the words, but I hope that Liechtenstein estate gets sued a lot.
Yeah, like if that's the case, then you could probably make. Well, then wouldn't it be? Wouldn't the comic book publisher, whoever owns the rights to that, because the artist probably wouldn't get anything because they were it was basically work for hire,
Yeah, it's probably work
right?
for hire. So
So that they wouldn't get anything because they
no.
don't own the copyright anyway.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of them, and you know, yeah, it's
And that's common. I mean, that was common. There's something common to do too. I mean, I remember being in Chelsea, in Manhattan, in the gallery, and seeing a just gigantic collage with basically just cut out Marvel Comics
yeah,
panels, and I recognized it because I owned a couple of them, and you know, if they're getting sued for that, and they didn't have, I wonder, because I'm just trying to think like in terms of fair use on it, because I would imagine that Warhol was reproducing these things too, right? Because that's also a big thing with him.
yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's not fair use because it's for profit. I mean, that clinches the fair use argument right there.
That was
Yeah.
when you got into like the meat of the article, that was Bill, that was pretty much exactly, you're correct.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, I mean, and the good thing about this lawsuit is that, and I don't want to open a can of worms, but what it means is that it will be easier to sue companies that are making AI and stealing people's work in the future, because it doesn't cover significantly similar, it just means you used it without permission. Significantly similar
Right.
doesn't enter into the equation, because that's always been the measure for copyright infringement. And I imagine that the Rauschenberg estate's probably going to get sued as well.
It's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I'm just,
Yeah,
you know,
that heck of a is this one of the first like court stories that we've been following that's been resolved?
We had one
If
other
the-
one.
The tattoo one, right?
Oh, the tattoo one, you're right.
I think that the whole preemptively suing somebody is distasteful. You know,
Because as soon as you end up near a courtroom, I think you'll.
no, not necessarily.
Distasteful. I got a
Not
brother.
necessarily.
You know what, Bill, you're right. I should preemptively sue Timmy for a breach
Sending you a
in
timer?
privacy laws or something.
he
Yeah,
might-
sending me a timer.
Because
No.
you might do
Right.
something.
Ray, my rebuttal would
Yeah.
be, that was distasteful. I just think it's funny.
Isn't that like that Tom Cruise movie where they arrest the people before they commit the crime?
Oh, Minority
Oh, that's right. It
Report?
would be like pre-crime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Minority Report.
I don't think that I don't think countersuing is like Minority Report.
No, but it was pre-suing.
But it could be. Right.
Yeah.
It-
No, on the topic of copyright though, I was looking for music because I'm helping this comic out, and I was looking for music that was public domain, and so we were going
On
into
Napster. Yeah.
yeah,
Limelight.
yeah, 'cause we actually been using Kazaa, but we really, and he really likes like folk music, you know, and like Woody Guthrie and stuff like that. And so it was like pretty easy because you don't have to go that much further back to find stuff that's in the public domain. But then I started thinking like public domain, like now, like you go back 70 years, there's not, I mean, the amount of media that exists today like crushes that, right?
Right.
Like, you know, like I'm trying to think what year that sets it in. Is it like 1938?
Like it got kind of frozen for a while too. So I thought it was just like only only recently, like 1927, I think it was. Hit
Okay, yeah, you're right.
It's complicated because it has to do with things created before 1978 or after 1978.
Yeah, and like when a person died.
Yeah, it's so convoluted.
But generally though, it's like 75 years. Like it's like a 75 years out.
Oh, I
And
thought it was 70, but yeah,
whatever, 75, 70.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking like what I'm not so technical. I was just thinking like in the year like 2070, right? Like in sync songs will be public. There will be so much content in the public. Like I was thinking about like when you think about like the Elvis, like if you're part of like the Elvis estate, or like things like if you're part, like your family is like part of like a massive estate, like you almost would have to plan for this like generation, like 2 or 3 past you, where like it winds down. How does that, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Winding down an estate, essentially, right? It's interesting.
Imagine the Prince estate, like the amount. I mean, like he has he has more records than like if they release an album a year
Yeah.
of new material, I think it would be 70 years or something like that. Like we wouldn't
Oh my god.
be able to see like, yeah, it's something absurd. So can you imagine all of that going
All his
this
music?
like public?
Yeah.
So the music that's been unreleased, he recorded so much that
Yeah.
he has so many unreleased stuff in the vault that if they were to release an album a year of his work, so somebody estimated that it would be like around 70 years to go through
gosh.
all of his music.
Did you listen to, I think it's Radio Lab. It's about a safe cracker who was hired to go to the Prince estate to crack his safe. Because
God, no, I didn't.
oh, it's so good. I'll send it. That's my rec, is that episode of that podcast. I'll send it. I'll grab it. I'll find the
Yeah,
exact.
that sounds good.
Please do.
But
Is
it's
that was that just to turn it over to the to preservation people?
No, it was the they knew that he had archived a lot of his music in there on like this like very old, highly secure like type of hard drive. Because these massive machines, and they're just like really but Prince spent, like, they talk about the safe, and it's one of the most secure safes in the world.
Oh my God.
And this guy tells like he goes into like, he's just a massive safe nerd, and he just goes into the details of like every step of cracking the safe. And then he talks about how it's kind of cool that when he goes in, him and like 3 other people like got to see all this stuff that like Prince had created and hoarded, like some of this content.
Wow.
Do you listen to the podcast This Is Love?
I'm not familiar with it.
It's the same woman that does Criminal. And she interviewed one of the sound people that worked with Prince for like a decade. And so she talks a lot about that. So it might be fun for you to pair the This Is Love episode with the Radio Lab one, because I think that they would go well together, because she talks about how much he would record, and just her life was just about just.
Was it Susan? Susan. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Susan. Yeah. Best, man. Yeah, this is awesome.
It is actually This American Life, and the episodes that are called Dave. I dropped it in our Discord. Does anybody we've got about 15 minutes left.
Susan Rogers, sorry.
We've got about 15 minutes left in this pose. Anybody have any like fresh recs for the week?
Listen to Prince.
Listen to Prince. It's fine.
Is that, I mean, that's fairly contemporary.
He's got new stuff.
He's got new stuff, baby.
Yeah, that's not contemporary.
Well, I mean, if you're looking for more podcasty stuff, like I actually have been going down the rabbit hole of This American Life, on their website, you can listen to all their old episodes commercial free. So it's really fun to just go through a bunch of them. And that's been kind of a nice way to get through the day when I was looking for something different.
Mhm.
I actually do have a recommendation. There's an artist, she's a musician, Martha Bassett. And she hosts a radio once a week podcast / radio program, live show of musicians, and it's called the Martha Bassett Show. And
Oh, cool.
it's like, if you like kind of Americana music, or even bluegrass, or spirituals, there's just a variety of musicians on there. It has a very sort of NPR flavor to it.
Oh, nice. Like almost like a Prairie Home Companion.
Kind of, yeah. And she has this wonderful herself. She's got this amazing voice. Yeah, fun stuff. Lots of different musicians on there.
Boom, contemporary. Take that, Timmy.
I'm
There you go.
I'm cheering on. This is anybody else? John, Adam, Ray?
I am honestly, I'm like racking, like, what do I do all day? And I've been like, I just finished listening to, I've been getting into audiobooks, and I've never been into them. It's kind of nuts, but I just finished this might, the series, the First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. Has anybody read that? It's like, it's like Game of Thrones. Like the quote on the book for the review is like perfect. It's like a Game of Thrones if Game of Thrones were directed by Kurosawa.
Wow.
This is what the First Law is like, and it is. I thought it was unbelievable, and there's other books and stuff, but the first 3 books are a ton of fun, and they're pretty contemporary. I think they were.
What's the name again?
It's called the First Law trilogy.
First Law.
And yeah, and if you like kind of that like realistic kind of fantasy with, I mean, it's not a kid's book. I just want to go out and say that, but it is really good, like really, really good.
Oh my God, I would love it if I searched this book up and it was like clearly written for like 12 to 13-year-olds.
I know, right?
It turns out Ray's reading like just exclusively just like Harry Potter book 1 though. Like
right. Oh God, yeah. It was like they've done a children's book adaptation of it, right? I could see I could see Adam saying like, yeah, I'm actually working on a children's book adaptation of the First Law.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Adam, looks awesome.
That's so cool.
That's awesome, Adam.
If nobody else has any Rex, we've got some questions too. Okay, Cassandra,
Go ahead, shoot.
what is your process for choosing your colors?
Sorry, that looks super blurry. I'm just looking at what's in front of me here. I just see a lot of blues, purples, and reds. So I started with a base kind of neutral purple. Is that really blurry?
It is a little. You might have to pull your cam further out, or I'm not sure. Yeah, might need to pull it away. Oh, it's just hopping in and out of photo. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I just used a neutral purple because that seemed to be like something that connected them all together. And then I was just trying to balance the color going back and forth. So we've got the blue low lights coming in from this direction. We got the hot warm lights coming from this direction. And I was just trying to balance those colors. So that low light blue here, and all the shadows to me looked really warm and like a kind of a deep burgundy. So I just made it a burgundy shadow color, which played well off against the blue. That answer the question.
Bill, somebody noticed you kept starting over. Is there a reason?
What do you mean, starting over? Like,
They said you started over a couple times. I didn't
no,
catch.
I just drawing different stuff. So this is
Okay.
the, I was working on one and then so I was actually, so I started that one and I got as far as I could get on that and wasn't loving it. So then went back and found a picture from 1974 of ABBA, which I thought would be fun to do. And then my I got disconnected from the thing, so and then I drew this guy really quickly, and I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's just a kind of a warm-up dress, just, you know, drawing.
That looks
There's a
like
lot
it
of
perfectly, Bill.
There's a lot of proportional problems, and then I decided to draw. Was trying to figure out who I wanted to draw next, and so then I started. The photo I have of her is really blurry, so I don't know. I wasn't into drawing the whole costume. I just wanted to draw her face. So
Cool.
yeah. Just short attention span, I guess.
You know, we never did the what you drawn with
Mm.
Where are you drawing?
question.
Hey Ray, what are you drawing with?
I'm drawing in Procreate. This is really was just a platform to me to talk about how I'm able to
So you could get the camera aimed
mirror
at
my
yours.
iPad.
Yeah.
Good thing it's
Yeah.
really dark, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. You know what? Forget I asked. This is I'm still working on. I figured out a way to kind of get my camera to mirror my iPad, but
Oh,
still
that's
working
cool.
the kinks on it.
That's your fancy trick of the
Oh,
night.
there it is.
There you
There's
go.
my fancy trick.
Oh yeah, I'll have to call you one of these days about how you do it, because I want to use my iPad some night, and I'm just too busy to think about it until the last minute.
You would need to mirror it to your.
Oh, John.
You have a,
Awesome.
nice, John.
Ray, what's the character from Mortal Kombat that this guy looks like?
That's amazing. I quit. That's really good.
Which one? My knowledge goes like dead after Mortal Kombat
Like
2.
you would know all of the Mortal Kombat. Yeah, but this is like Mortal Kombat, like core characters.
Do you know they're relaunching it? They're rebooting
I was
the
just
franchise.
gonna say that.
I mean, didn't it come out
Ah.
like a couple years ago?
Mortal
Like-
Kombat 1. They're back to 1. Go ahead,
Wait.
Cassandra. Explain it. Explain to Timmy.
No, I just heard that they're bringing it back, and then in talking about it, I heard the old school like techno theme song in my head.
Okay, the character is Goro.
Oh, like the multi-armed guy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but he didn't know he
Yeah,
had
yeah, I
this.
could
This kind
see
of came
that.
out, Totally.
Timmy,
Goro.
you've redeemed yourself.
I just
I have to ask Adam, did you know that?
I did not know that.
Thank you.
There was a Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat cartoon, but I didn't play video games.
I think that Goro. Yeah, it looks like Goro.
It does look like Goro. You're right. Maybe that
Yeah.
was like who he was trying to be for this.
He was like, "Make me look like Goro." More.
In honor of the Mortal Kombat reboot.
I was
So you
thinking,
mean they're rebooting the reboot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the reboot was pretty bad.
I have a good question for the people drawing. So next week, or I mean the panelists.
Favorite Mortal Kombat? I mean,
No.
where do I start? No.
So next week, there's a good chance Chris Payne's going to be here in my studio
Mm.
while we're doing this. Let's think of a topic that's going to work well.
well,
Should we do a baseball night?
I was gonna say you should do like that or like classic film. Oh, I was just looking at this photographer of like the golden era of Hollywood, and like those would be cool to do them of.
I think, John, I think baseball, especially because, we're like, it's like baseball's in, it's baseball season.
What about classic?
But you know what you should title the theme? Best baseball players of all time, undisputed.
And then cap the year. Don't start like start from 1970s on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Contempt. Yeah.
Hey, guys, I'm gonna have to be here with them. So,
Which
He's gonna
makes it
kill me.
even more fun.
What about
We know. Yeah.
what about classic comedy or something like that? I mean, like
I don't know. I think baseball. We haven't done
baseball would be great.
We haven't done sports in a long time too.
I'll have him pick I'll reach out to him and have him pick
Yes.
some reference for it.
yes.
Oh, that's right. We'll make him do the work, John. Yeah.
Even better.
Sweet.
I had Cassandra do it this week. Man, awesome.
I knew there was I thought you nailed it. I was like, John really nailed the reference this week. But
Yeah. Thanks.
I
Ray.
didn't know
Appreciate
John
that.
was such a Eurovision fan.
yeah, I was like, John and Eurovision. Who?
Hey,
I was
Ray,
just envisioning John having a watch party. Like the Eurovision watch party.
Ray, where was your
Which I
Eurovision
totally-
this year?
His new like ringtone is cha 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 from the guy in Finland, the guy in the green shirt there.
Is it every year? Is it
Where
every
was
2 years?
Where was Eurovision this year, Ray?
Liverpool.
Omaha?
Liverpool?
Well, yeah, but Cassandra answered it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Well,
didn't hear
Cassandra
you
also
say it.
picked out the reference, so maybe
No, but
So
how many times
she
is it?
did-
How many
she did
times has
work-
it been
no,
in
she-
Liverpool, right?
she did work for both of us. Cassandra,
I
what do
had
you
I had to
think?
read about it.
I mean, I
I'm
don't want
done
to do any
drawing.
work for this, John. You don't. So let's.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, this is like.
I want to see everybody. I want to walk around the room and see everybody's pieces.
We just did it.
Well, I was drawing. You got to do it again.
I'm not gonna do it again. All right.
You've
boss.
changed. Look at that.
That's amazing.
That's
Sorry, I
really
got a
good,
lot of
Ray.
glare.
That's great, Ray. It's beautiful, Cassandra. I know he switched it. I really meant to. I
was like, is this part of the bit?
That's so funny. That looks amazing, Adam.
That's great, Adam.
Well, he's my second cousin probably. So
I'm gonna send you all the video of his song because I want you to hear this metal cha-cha because like cha-cha dancers come out on stage and everything.
That's cool.
That's so funny. When that one came up, there was two. You had two poses of this character from
Mhm.
Finland, and I looked at all 8 shots you sent me, and I said, "Well, there's 2 I'm not drawing." So I couldn't get into that one. That's
Ooh, looking
nice.
Good, Ray.
Yeah, trying. This
Look
is
at
slow
that.
going, folks.
See, I only have one hand.
You only have one hand? I thought I saw 2. That's why I was like, I got to do 2.
No,
I
I
am, like,
only
killing
drew
myself.
one-handed.
You're working on the
This
hand,
is
Ray?
why.
Oh.
Yeah.
A lot of fingers.
That's really nice, Ray.
Mm.
Thanks.
Using
what brushes are you using on there?
Ray, you using a tool that we don't know about? A lot of fingers there.
It'd be even funnier now for it to have 4 arms, right?
That would be-
Hold on. Let me just tweak my prompts and I'll get back to you. Give me 30 seconds here.
Yeah.
Using any of Kyle's brushes?
This is just a straight up acrylic, the first just a modified acrylic brush from Procreate. This is on my iPad, so but you can get Kyle's import Kyle's brushes into Procreate, and I have a bunch of them in there.
They are.
But they don't work. They don't work as well because it's a different code
I thought you
structure.
were just gonna say they just don't work. Like
They just don't.
we have to cut that out.
Okay.
No, Kyle. Kyle's got.
Kyle won me some awards, with his brushes.
I
So
think he won a lot of awards for a lot of people, right? I would,
yeah, he did.
A solid claim to fame.
yeah.
Yeah.
My name is on your computer.
Yeah, you're welcome, right?
Everybody, there's 3 minutes left in this pose. Just a heads up.
Bill, that looks great.
Well, thank you.
Looks awesome, Bill.
Nice, Bill.
John, it is so cool that Kyle is as cool as he is
Yeah,
and forthcoming. It's just so great.
we're talking about Kyle Webster, the brush maker, illustrator, designer,
Extraordinaire.
extraordinary
Software developer, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
app builder.
Lines of, if you're looking for a cool app, I've used it. Lines of Zen, pretty sweet. Kyle developed it. It's a
Oh.
meditation and drawing app. Anybody can use it. It's pretty cool.
Oh, hey, Ray, I meant to tell you, I really liked the Julie Beck episode. That was so cool.
oh, thanks. Oh, well, Julie made life so much easier. It's just like I asked a question and just let her take the reins. It was, I try and ask people that are just make me look really good. So I've been
I noticed
really
that.
successful. So yeah, I know.
John, is Sterling on next Monday?
We're working on a date, and we may do a recording and post it on Monday. I'm not sure.
Back-to-back recordings.
Well, it would be fresh though.
What?
I mean, it would be fresh. We would just do it without an audience.
Oh, okay. I see.
I'll figure it out.
I like this Studio Bridge production meeting.
Yeah.
During
I really like-
Drawing Hive.
John, are you gonna do more illustrators?
Yeah, I just convinced Troy Heindel to do it with me.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
To do
awesome.
Robert
Man,
Heindel's.
That's awesome.
And he's
Yeah,
not an
I
artist. So he said, I'm relying on you for the art, understanding the art. He goes, I know all the dates and, where he had the shows and all that kind of stuff. It was pretty cool.
John, even the fetching one was awesome too. Like it just you talking about how an artist talking about another artist and breaking down what makes them good. I mean, just gives a really wonderful angle and a unique angle. I think that's super beneficial for people. So,
Mhm.
I'm not giving you
threw in-
notes, but I'm just saying like that's also a thing,
Yeah, I thought it was good to throw in like my father and Peak in that too,
That was so great.
Yeah.
I thought it was great, because that's really, who turned me on to it.
I like that you also had Holbein in there,
Yeah,
which you kind of can't do fetching without doing Holbein.
Yeah. his other
Yeah.
influence was Durer. So, I mean, it was just pretty cool that like you can find fetch and drawings, of him practicing doing the Holbein, master copies. And Ray, today I ran across my photos. I was looking through my photos from the Norman Rockwell Museum last summer. And I have some of those shots of Norman Rockwell doing Brangwyn.
Oh, whoa.
His exercises. I have like 4 or 5 of them.
Oh,
So what was he? What? Remind me again what the connection? What like Frank
That's-
Brangwyn exercises?
Yeah. Well, it was he learned from him.
Wait, Rockwell apprentice under him?
I don't know if he apprenticed under I don't know where he ran across him, but he was taking, I mean, he was doing those Frank Brangwyn drawings.
Really?
I think so.
Rockwell, wow. I knew
Hold on a second.
Cornwell was like all in
He was like
all about
15
Frank
or
Brangwyn.
16 years old. He was a kid.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah. They had quite a few of them. Stephanie Plunkett pulled them out. They're very cool. The
Are you
curator.
talking about but oh no, you were talking about the Bridgman.
Bridgman. Did I say Brangwyn? I'm sorry. Bridgman. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I'm like,
I-
man.
Everybody,
Completely
that
different
guy's-
artist. I'm so sorry.
hey, everybody,
Go ahead.
that is the end of that last pose. So start posting your work to Instagram using hashtag Drawing Hive and at Visual Arts Passage. Post it now. We got 3 minutes, and then we're going to be hopping over to Instagram. Don't wait.
John, I was like, because I'm a huge Frank Brangwyn fan, so I'm like, man, I didn't even know he had a connection to Rockwell. I
I'm
mean, the guy's
sorry.
been everywhere. No, no worries, no worries.
I was having
I'm
a
like, wait a
moment.
second, what?
Here.
Those of you who don't know Frank Brangwyn, you should definitely check him out.
Can you see that, right?
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Too close, John. Too close.
Too close.
things.
Did it come in focus?
Well, now it's too far. Yeah, there's just a medium. Yeah. Here's a question, and while we got a couple minutes, just a reminder, we are enrolling for the summer semester. It's the beginning of the early bird enrollment. So it's super early bird, so it's $200 off. Just use code ARTSY. That is only good until June 2nd. So jump on it while you can. You sign up now. I mean, it's just like you're gonna save $200. Substantial. Someone just asked, I know you Visual Arts Passage helps build a portfolio, but is that from scratch?
Yeah. If you start at the beginning.
John, do you want to elaborate more than that?
Well, I mean, I think you need, in a professional portfolio, you have to have the things that you need to make portfolio pieces. Is first of all, you have to have an understanding of what part of the industry you're building it for. You have to have a physical process, which is the process of the act of making a picture with an art director, understand the picture making process and how to use it. And then you have to have the ideation, the ability to problem solve and the cognitive part of being an illustrator. And we have classes that prepare you cognitively, physically, and then point you into a portfolio class where you identify what part of the industry you're developing for, and you build a body of work aimed at a professional portfolio.
And to answer like the question, I think really specifically, people walk into the program with very few finished images or images that they don't have images that are yet ready for their portfolio, right?
Right. Most, like, starting like in the process class, I mean, they have a lot of work to do to develop the skills required to develop, professional work.
Mm-hmm.
So they take the first 2 classes that help them raise the physical aspect of picture making and the cognitive. And then they start thinking about developing portfolio pieces. It's very well thought out.
And the students have so much support too. I mean, it's great. And like study hall is a classic example of that. I mean, it's just in the Discord, and I mean the amount of communication that you have with students in the East, the directness is, as an instructor, is great because you feel like you're really helping out, you're and the students just seeing the development even between weeks of study hall, John, has been so thrilling to see that stuff,
Help giving people the most obvious education, the practical things. It takes obviously, coming in here every Thursday night, it takes a long time to learn how to draw. So you can continue to develop skill as you're learning the other practical aspects of picture making for the industry. And our classes are also designed that they can be taken multiple times. If you need more time to develop in that area, we help you do that. Ray, I just sent all that stuff to you.
Oh my God, you're the best.
Okay. I think it's time.
There's some cool stuff in here.
My favorite
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Great job.
Yeah.
Really good likeness there.
Yeah.
Jeff was making me so happy. I loved it.
Eddie, yeah.
Good job.
Cool.
Oh, that's
lovely.
great. Look at that.
Beautiful hand.
Yeah,
Ooh, good job.
Oh, that's nice.
that is pretty well. I was just trying to imagine like her trying to eat anything.
His nails
Difficult.
are intense. Ooh, Sienna.
Very nice.
Yeah.
There's
Imagine-
one of our students.
Yeah. Can you
Sienna?
imagine sharing
Nice, Sienna.
popcorn? Oh, cool.
Ooh, that's cool. Good line work.
Oh,
Oh man.
Oh, AJ.
Oh, nice.
Beautifully handled.
nice.
Nice.
Sometimes you see a piece of reference and you just think, I know certain artists are just going to kill it.
Joe, that
Right.
is awesome.
That is great.
Oh,
Jeez.
Wow, that's really,
Done,
really
Joe.
great.
Wow.
Wow.
It's like the comic book cover for that, that issue.
Yeah.
Right, right.
I was gonna say, it
Really
looked like the new Indiana Jones movie poster.
Nice
Um,
job.
Jason.
yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Nice.
Nice.
Karen.
That's cool.
Wow. Good job.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, so fun.
Ah,
I'm
all four
loving
of them
all of
there,
these
too.
mashups that are happening here.
Oh, those are
Nice.
awesome.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, a lot of
Oh,
people
man.
look at
Charlotte.
montages tonight.
Yeah.
Really well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
Jeez.
too.
That's nice.
Strong.
Nice.
Oh,
Oh, that's great.
That's great.
Another
Look
one.
at this.
Love it.
It was just
I
nice.
just also like that her name's the stressed out sketcher.
Right.
oh,
Hey,
nice
Chuck.
one. Nice
Nice
touch.
job.
Nice, Chuck.
Fantastic.
Wow.
There you go.
Thanks.
That's cool.
Oh, that's cool too.
Very good. I love it.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Look at that.
So fun.
Ooh,
Good job,
that's
Sienna.
beautiful.
Jeez,
Lovely.
Sienna.
That's
Beautiful
well done.
cut there.
Cool.
Nice.
That's great.
Ah.
Whoa.
That is
Whoa.
That's cool.
spectacular. Wow.
Wow.
That's okay.
Whoa.
AJ, that's awesome too. Wow.
Kind of like that one too, AJ. That was
Oh,
okay,
love
AJ.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice one.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Look at that.
Man, you guys like created posters.
I know.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh,
I'm patting
man.
myself on the back for
That's
5
That's
fingers,
great.
Oh,
Great.
those are
Yeah.
fun.
Wow.
I love that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I should have done that.
Oh,
oh,
that's
very
nice.
nice.
Yeah, I'm feeling lazy in comparison to what everybody's saying.
I am too.
You know,
Seriously.
Sandra,
I'm like, I
you
got
just
both
did
hands
one.
in. I feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to step it up. You all rocked it.
We did both
Two
hands.
heads tonight. So.
Oh,
I did
Great.
both hands, guys.
Light on this side.
I got both hands. At least I'm
Yeah,
there.
it's amazing that you can make Midjourney look like that app so well.
You doing that?
Ooh, this looks like an X-Men here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
God.
great.
That shadow on his cheek.
Ooh, very nice.
Ooh,
Jeff.
cool, Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh, Marcy.
Oh,
that's
Marcy.
It's fine.
It's great.
awesome.
Nice.
Really fun color. That one has
Love
good
it.
movement, Nicole.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
I'm feeling very lazy for not drawing bodies tonight.
That's great.
Nice.
I like that.
Those are
That's
pretty.
awesome
Yeah, I
too.
love it.
That one
Yeah,
feels
Jeff.
really rock and roll.
Oh, there we go. I want to see if there's more. No, that's just abusing drawing Hive. No, everybody, that was
But in a
fun.
good way.
Yeah, it's fine. At least it was a drawing. Could be worse. Am I right?
Great job, everybody.
Yeah. This was
Very
fun.
fun
Great
night.
job,
Great.
everyone.
Thank you, Cassandra, for
Yeah.
helping me out with this. You picked some really great reference.
Thanks. That was really fun. So thanks for letting me.
It was fun
Ray?
having bodies to deal with. No, it was. I enjoyed that.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. And
Adam, Ray, Bill, thank you all. Cassandra, thank you.
Yep.
Fun
See you.
night.